Hi, Tens. It's me again. So moving on to question number 2. A regular pentagon is inscribed in a circle of radius 10 centimeters. Determine the perimeter of the pentagon. So what that means is if we have a circle, and inside our circle is going to be our pentagon. So we can draw ourselves a pentagon. And if it's a regular pentagon, then it means that all the sides are going to be the same length. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, and each of these side lengths are the same. And so this pentagon is inscribed inside this circle. Now, we know that the radius of the circle is 10 centimeters. So that means the distance to these edges of the pentagon are going to be the same. So 10 and 10. Now, the other thing we know when we're looking at this pentagon is that we know this angle right here, because we know that, so we'll call that theta. So we know that we would make one, right? If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these triangles inside of our pentagon. And each of these triangles are going to be the same. And so we can take our 360 for our circle and divide it by 5 to get our theta. So theta is equal to 360 divided by 5, which is 72 degrees. So in order to find the perimeter of the pentagon, we need to figure out this length right here, which is x. So in this case, I know my angle, and I know the two sides that surround the angle. So the angle contained between these two sides, which means then that I'm going to use the cosine law. So I know that x squared is going to equal the sum of my two sides each squared, right? Minus 2 times 10 times 10 times the cosine of 72 degrees. So I'm going to grab my calculator now and take a look at what that means. So I know I have 10 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 10 times 10 times the cosine of 72 degrees, which is 138 point and then 2 centimeters. So this is going to equal 138.2 centimeters. So then x then is going to be the square root of that. So if I bring back my calculator and I take the square root of 138.2, I get 11.8. So x is going to equal 11.8 centimeters. So the perimeter then is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these x's. So the perimeter is equal to 5x, which is equal to 5 times 11.8, which is equal to 58.8 centimeters. So therefore, the perimeter is 58.8 centimeters. So if we take another look at this question, we have a regular pentagon inscribed inside of a circle. So we have our circle, and inscribed inside of it we have a regular pentagon. Regular pentagon means that all of these side lengths are equal. In this case, and all of these angles are equal as well. In this case, we know that the radius of the circle is 10 centimeters. So if we find the radius where the pentagon touches the circle, we know those side lengths each will be 10. So the last thing we need to know is we've got two sides and we're trying to find this one. So can we figure out this angle? Well, we know that there would be 5 of these triangles inside our pentagon, and each of these angles would be the same. And so we take what would be a circle at 360 degrees, we divide it by the 5 triangles, and we find out that each of those angles would be 72 degrees. So now we're going to use our cosine formula because we have an angle between two sides. So x squared is equal to 10 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 10 times 10 times cosine of 72 degrees. We plug that all in our calculator, we get 138.2 centimeters, but that's what x squared is. So we take the square root of that and we find out that x is 11.8 centimeters. So our perimeter is going to be all 5 of those sides, so 5 times x, which is 5 times 11.8, or 58.8 centimeters. So therefore the perimeter is 58.8 centimeters.